Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio, a program that brings you the latest developments in Nigeria's business and economy cycles and issues of business around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and today we shall be talking Techie Nigeria, a platform that gives you the opportunity to interrogate investment in the area of innovation in the technology sector of the Nigerian society. I am being joined today by Jafar Haniel, who is an ICT expert, and together we shall do justice to this important program. Jafar, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
Thank you so much. So today we're talking about investment in technology, and that questions some of the areas of policy formulation of Nigeria vis-a-vis what we see around the world. In some parts of the world, they devote as much as 10% of the budgets to issues of technological innovations. Nigeria recently, the Ministry of Science and Technology actually changed its name to Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, as in order to capture that global audience of innovation. So what exactly do you see in terms of investing in this all-important sector?
Well, so far so good. We've been doing what we can do. I would always start by appreciating what we've done, but there are a whole lot of things to be done. We've not even gotten to 10% of things that needs to be done. So we've grown. The technological sector of this country has grown drastically. In fact, ICT being one of these contributed about 15%. Thereabout 12 to 15% GDP in 2020. That's the level at which it has grown. But the growth has little to do with government's investment.
Yes,
it has little to do with government intervention. Government did not. They did what they could do, but all the growth that we've seen and we've experienced thus far is as a result of the innovative nature of the Nigerian people. The innovative nature of Nigerian youths.
Yes,
we are born innovators, and that's the reason why we have been able to single-handedly move the GDP or the ICT GDP from 4% 2012 to
8% 2015,
8% 2015, 9% 2018. Now, even during the COVID-19, now when everyone is thinking that it was the ICT sector that single-handedly brought out Nigeria out of the recession.
Yes,
so this has nothing to do with government. Yes, they did their part, but there are a whole lot of things to be done. What's the rate of research? Do we have research institutes? How many research institutes do we have in the country? How many do we have in our institutions? Because they are supposed to be the place where you go to carry out your research. How many of these research institutes do we have in our institution? I mean, our educational institutions.
Yes.
Talking about do we have people that build their life on career on research? So we don't have those kind of persons, and the reason is because they consider researchers, this part of the world, generally not Nigeria but Africa, we consider researchers to be more persons that don't get the money, because you do research, you end up what's our level of patent in this country. When you do research, you patent it in Nigeria. Nigeria part of the global patent association. I forgot the name, but there's a global patent association that when you patent in Nigeria, it reflects worldwide. But how many Nigerians don't undergo research? Because if they undergo research, they will need to patent it, and if they patent it, it's only restricted to Nigeria. So someone outside Nigeria can pick up your research and use your work, and at the end of the day, you don't get paid royalty from it.
Okay, you can see that Nigeria's technological prowess, even though with with enormous potentials, has actually not gotten to that potentials that we are expecting. For instance, in 2019, the Global Innovation Index actually ranked Nigeria one of the lowest out of 129 countries, Nigeria came 114. And some other countries like Kenya, even Madagascar also did better than Nigeria in that regard. And we are asking why this abysmal performance. You mentioned the issue of research. Could it have been that the government does not really, pay more attention to the issue of research and development, investing in this important sector that has enormous potentials for Nigerians?
We are Nigerian generally. We are a consuming nation.
Yes.
Because of that mindset, it in a way has its level of effect. Its effect on the whole innovation generally, and the way the Nigerian the government puts priority. Yet, if we begin to look at innovation as a necessary thing that would not only keep Nigerians in-house, but will also grow the country's level of reliance, reduce the country's level of reliance on other countries, then it would be at the top of their preference and not at the bottom. Because if we want to look at the scale of preference now from the government, you find out that innovation, research fundings and the likes, because it's a long-term project, and we are not usually so particular. We want something that you invest money today, you get a return tomorrow. But research and innovation takes time. Research and innovation takes time. Let's take, for example, now Facebook. Facebook started 2004, but it would be surprising for you to hear that they did not declare their first profit until after 7, 8, 9 years after. You get, so that period of waiting is a period of building confidence, improving their level of innovation, and ensuring that they build in all necessary things that will make the market or the product acceptable to the general public. Because so we have not, the government has not prioritized research. We have not prioritized research fund. We've not prioritized the need for innovation. Now, notwithstanding, this was before 2018, because from 2018, the level of innovation in Nigeria has skyrocketed. Now, let's look at the 2020 statistics in terms of Nigerian startup.
Yes.
Because Nigeria has a total of about 55 innovative hubs in the whole of Nigeria. South Africa has a total of about 59 innovative hubs. Out of the 59 innovative hubs in South Africa, their startup have been able to bring forth about $60 million into the country as foreign investors investing in their innovations. But Nigeria having a lower innovative hub with 55, we've been able to bring forth about over 90 million US dollars. So that will tell you that it's growing. And though this growth has no, I can say it has no government intervention. It's all about our spirited desire to ensure that we make it and we get there and we are innovative. That's what has brought us to this.
Okay. There's one other thing that you raise here, which is the issue of Nigeria still dependent on ICT solutions from outside, and also its hardware subsector is also 80% dominated, foreign dominated. Now it is that, just like you mentioned, the potentials are great. And even in investment, like you said, $90 million investment is not a small investment in a country like Nigeria. And therefore, it behoves on government to actually harness this sector to ensure that we domesticate it, ensure that this dependence on ICT solutions, which in fact go up to about $2 billion every year for Nigeria, that's the ICT solution. And of course, the subsector of the hardware that takes about 80% foreign dependence. So what do you think should be done now? Calling on government, is it just government, or there must be other stakeholders in the industry that will help harness some of these?
Well, there is the ideology of foreign things usually better than Nigerian things. It's a major factor. Yes. Notwithstanding, as long as software and hardware and all that are concerned, they use the same hardware. The quality of they use for software now. They use the same. It is the same skill. a programmer in the US, a programmer in UK, a programmer in Nigeria. They are all programmers. It's not as though that someone that is in the US is better than the person that is in Nigeria. In fact, it is as a result of our high level of skill in the area of programming. That's why we get more innovations like the floater wave and the base stack and Shaka and the likes. You get it's because of because before they invest in any of your product, they will do what is called code review. They will review your code because they want to ensure that your code meets international standard. So if we are getting if we're getting investment from software investment in software development companies or brand like Flutterwave, it means that the coding structure that was used to develop that particular software meets international standard. It's secure to a level, and they just need to ensure that they harness it and nurture it and make it better. Yeah. So if we are getting that level of what's it called foreign investment in our software sector, it means that we're growing. It means that the Nigerians can also compete. Nigerian companies can compete. I bet you with the rate at which we're growing, Nigeria would be a country to reckon with when it comes to software development, more especially software development and issuing of innovative products for the global world, not just for Nigeria. But now I'm talking about the whole dependent thing.
Yes.
Yet one of the pillars of the digital economic master plan, I think, is to localize our what's it called our
Content.
Localize the content, let the innovations be local and everything. Government needs to look out. It will definitely start from government because it's not something that the private would look at the situation and make their decision. But if government can say, okay, we are not going outside, we're doing these things local. We have innovators, we have developers, we have builders, we have those that are creative thinkers, all within this environment that I call Nigeria. We have all of it, the skill, the manpower. That is what's even bringing direct investors. If the government can say, okay, since we have all these things, how do we harness these things? How do we bring them together? They are already there. All just need to, they've given you, they won't go as far as developing the product. They went to school without your input. They graduated, they acquired more skills. They've been innovative enough to bring forth good product. Now this product, they are telling you this product is better than the one that you go out there to buy, and you're saying no because it is Nigeria, it is not better. Yet, so this has nothing to do with the physical things that we see, like the shoe and the clothes and the bashashi and all that. We're talking about software development, innovation that brings about growth even within the comfort of our youths.
Okay, there's one other thing that struck me when you were talking about some of these areas of investment, and you see, when the nations of the world, in industrialized societies, started innovations, there's this master plan that permeated the entire segment of the society in educational institutions, even on the family level. There's a level of a kind of culture of innovation, culture of technology that gripped most of that society. I think about Japan, for instance. You heard about the Meiji Restoration of 1867, when they opened up their society to embrace Western technology, from which they learned a lot. The Chinese also followed the same pattern, and many other countries of the world that have become technological giants today actually did that. And everything, you can see the direct impact of what technology has done in lifting the nations to very preeminence in the world of today. Yeah. So with the issue of technology cannot be overemphasized, because it gives a profound preeminence to the power of nations, and the nations also determine what direction the world economy and world business is moving. Nigeria has made a lot of made profound impact in the area of ICT, but a lot still remains to be done in that sector. And if I may ask you, if we may need extra budgetary allocation to this sector, what percentage of budgetary allocation do you think would be good enough for this sector?
You know, the ICT sector generally is one sector that can solve 80 the problem of 80 other sectors.
Yes.
The different agendas of every political party or every one in the aim of affair is to ensure that you have affordable health care. You should ensure that you have uh, low level of insecurity. To ensure that you have just list them. By the time you begin to list all this, you find out that with ICT alone, ICT has the potentials to provide you that low level health care and affordable health care with what's called health tech. It has the ability to provide you with affordable education services called ed tech. You get? So these things are things that the ICT generally is supposed to be the foundation, is supposed to be the main that every other arm and every other branch will begin to key into. And even in the area of corruption, the solution to corruption in every given society is when technology is embedded into the system of that government. If we lack technology, there will always be corruption, and you won't be able to checkmate them. It is technology that checkmates them because we are humans. Humans are there. Humans can be manipulated, they can be bypassed. But when you create a system via technology that ensures that a sachet of water that is 100 naira remains 100 naira, and not that one person would now pad it to be 200 naira. Technology has checkmated it. So when you go into the system to buy, it tells you that no, this is also person is selling it at 100 naira. So if you can't sell it to us as 100 naira, let's go to that person.
Interesting.
So technology is supposed to be the foundation, it's supposed to be the mainstream that every other industry keys into. And that is where it's supposed to get the highest share of budget.
Yes. All right. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about investment in the area of technology and innovation. And we're asking if Nigeria is actually making the right investment in this all important sector. We will continue with the discussion after this short break.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, I've been in the studio with Haniel Jafaru, and we've been talking investment in technology. And we have been interrogating all that is needed to be interrogated about Nigeria's investment in this sector, whether we are having the right investment and whether the investment are going to the different sectors and different dimensions that he just mentioned. You just mentioned about AD technology, health technology, even technology using it to fight crime and fraudulent practices in the country and so on and so forth. So you can see that it's a whole wide dimension of technological assistance to the Nigerian nation, and therefore we need to invest more in this.
True.
So the issue of is it possible that there should be a kind of parliamentary intervention in this issue of budgetary allocation to this sector, so that we can have something like a legal framework upon which we will invest in science, technology, and innovation to become a standard practice across all sectors of the Nigerian life?
Yes, the legislative arm has a very strong role to play in all this. We have needs that is aimed at promoting the development of ICT, but beyond just having needs that, it goes beyond just having needs that. Needs that as an agency is doing what it can do, but there is a place where we would need to bring in the private sector.
Yes.
There's a place for unification where the private sector comes in alongside the public sector. What's their stake? What do they have to get? Now, if you're saying, okay, you want to encourage more more foreign investors.
Yes.
What do they stand to get as an as investors that are coming to invest in your technology?
Yes.
What are their take home? Yeah, these are some of the things that, because now we one major, okay, now looking at, let's even take for example the recent Minans that uh, that happened recently where the federal government banned Twitter. Now, it is the challenge. One of the challenges of that is that it discouraged investors, because it would now mean that technological investment in the country are not as secure as the Nigerian people are promoting it to be. Yet now, those kind of things, it takes the legislative arm to secure the minds of the investors as, yeah, that was an executive policy and that has nothing to do with your investment when it comes in. This is what you take home. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. Let's get there and let's create more innovation. Or if we want to say, okay, every state have a minimum of 30 innovation halls. Hubs. Every local government, you must have at least 3 innovation hubs.
Yes.
By doing that, mandating them giving a mandate that's coming from the legislative arm, has a level of role to encourage even the encourage innovations and technological innovations from the grassroots.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So, and once that is done, it means that if we can achieve this amount of the $90 US investment with 55 innovation halls, then it means that if we now begin to say, okay, we want to get innovation halls across the country, it means that we'll definitely get more investors coming in, because I don't believe that this investors are coming in. If you want to check it out, you find out that most of the investors are coming in, they are landing in Lagos. And I don't believe that Lagos is the only place where these innovators are. We have them in the north, we have them in the southern part, we have them in the east. So why is it that more than half of the investors are landing in Lagos? Yes, it's because other parts of the world,
the hub of the commercial hub of the nation.
Yeah, but other parts of the nation also have innovators. What about those innovators that are unable to find themselves in Lagos? What about those innovators that are in Abuja? What about those innovators that are in Benin? Because there are innovation halls that we need to begin to use the legislative arm to mandate the state governments to ensure that they create, so that it will be all encompassing, so that let it not be as a case of you are letting this state grow and you're leaving this state out of it.
Interesting. The one other area that I would want us to look at is now the national. You have agencies of government. For instance, in the Ministry of Science and Technology, that has changed its name now to Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. To drive such innovation, they've also produced a comprehensive policy. To help them change perceptions, also help them coordinate their activities around innovations in the country. I do not know how far they will go, but I'm thinking that is a very ambitious step that they're trying to take. Whether they have the enabling environment to achieve such lofty dreams is one thing, but I'm thinking that probably they're going to have a challenge of trying to harness people because of the paucity of funds and some of the technicalities required to create that enabling environment may have posed some difficulties to them. So what do you see going forward in terms of trying to the ministry trying to make effort in,
the most important and most relevant infrastructure that is needed for innovation, technological innovation, is broadband penetration.
Yes.
That is, if we are able to achieve that, which the Ministry of Communication and Digital Planning is spearheading, if we're able to achieve that penetration, so far we have 50% penetration rate. Again, that means we are about 134 million Nigerians are on the internet. Yes. So with 50 penetration rate and with a plan of getting up to 90% penetration rate by 2025. If we're able to achieve that, every other thing begins to sit on that infrastructure. Whatsoever innovation that they want to do now, it's irrelevant. Its relevance is dependent on the broadband penetration rate. That's why it needs to. The broadband master plan, I've seen it and I've gone through it, and it's wonderful and it's achievable if funding go into it. Whatsoever technology, whatsoever building, whatsoever research, yeah, they can begin to carry out their research and all that. But at the end of the day, it will rely on the level of internet penetration that the country has. It will experience at that point when they want to carry out whatsoever implementation. Another thing that we should take note is the fact that we are very good with documentation. Yes, because we are very, very good with documentation. So implementation to design and develop policies, we can lead a nation, or we can lead the world in that. But when it comes to implementation policy,
so what is this thing about designing wonderful policies on paper and getting the technicalities on paper, expertise on paper, and then what is this thing about implementation? Does it have to do with the so-called Nigerian factor? And we want to actually unravel this Nigerian factor that has become a stumbling block to issues of development, especially in critical sectors like
the first major thing is the fact that there is the person that developed it. There's no continuity. Okay. The group that develops a certain policy are not usually the group that may implement it to the end. They may start, then there would be change in government, and that change in government will affect everything that they've done from 1 to 2, from beginning to when they left. So now, when there is when there is a new government, now the new government will go back. Yeah, just like the national cyber security policy, yes, that was designed by the Goodluck administration 2014. The implementation was poor. Now, when the 2020, there was a new policy that was signed again by another administration. That is still the Nigerian cyber security policy and strategy, which, in a way, if you look at, I've reviewed both documents. They work. They are almost the same thing. But now there is now another strategy of implementation that would last to 2025. Now, if there is no continuity in the government, by 2023, there is every possibility that the government would give way for another government. And once that happens, just keep. Another government comes and says, okay, let's review this. And in review, they bring out a new implementation plan. Because there is no consistency in implementation. That's one. Two, there is also a place of funding, because if you know that there is no consistency, then what you should do is to ensure that that organization that is implementing gets the fund it needed, the funds that are needed for it to implement the policy before the end of the administration. So if that can be done, whereby there is funds available, it would mean that the implementer would have enough funds to implement before the end of the administration. So at that point, it has been implemented.
Okay, there's another thing that would be of importance to these issues that we're talking about, which is what percentage of, because some analysts are saying that we should devote about 18% of our budgetary allocations to the technology sector, in order to give it the needed boost there. So, and you can see that over the years, we've been struggling with the issue of trying to do budgeting, here. So, in the short, just by way of rounding up now, what do you say regarding percentage in terms of budgetary?
18% is good, but beyond just 18%, I want majority of the budget to go in the exclusive list, because it can be budgeted, but if it's not in the exclusive list, we may end up not even getting the funds. Because so there are certain things like, let's not be as if I'm always what's it called?
Pessimistic?
No, not even being pessimistic. I want to mention NIMSI again.
Okay.
They were giving about 86 billion sometime ago. I think 2010 thereabout for national identification. To date, Nigerians have not received theirs. To date, people have neglected the need to have a national identification number. To date, now if you want to look at it, the fund was given, it was even in the exclusive list. Now there was no implementation plan on ground for them to implement. So what happened to the fund that was given? So beyond just even giving the what's it called, the funds, beyond allocating the funds and beyond putting it in the exclusive list, let there be strategic implementation plan and people that will do that.
Okay, let there be strategic implementation plan to boost Nigeria's technology and innovation. We have been talking about investment in the area of technology and innovation for Nigeria, a very important sector that will drive the economy of the country. And I'm being in the studio with Jafar Haniel, who have been doing justice with me on this very important topic. And this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of Money Radio, especially talking about technology. And we promise that we're going to bring a fresh edition to you when next we come. Thank you and remain blessed.